the size, and in this size range, it's a low-mass boiler. So on a low-mass boiler, the flow through the boiler is very critical. So in order to make sure that the boiler has the correct flow through it at all times, we would convert the existing piping configuration to a through-the-boiler piping configuration to a primary-secondary, where effectively the boiler loop will, the supply and the return will just connect in the boiler room, and there'll be a smaller loop where the new boiler will inject into the boiler loop. And in that way, we get the proper flow through the boiler at all times. It will do all the things. It will reset on outdoor air. It will stage down to 10% of the full load rating. It will accept the controls system with little to no problem, and we've done it many times.
Yep.
We did downsize the boiler to some degree, but one thing that we need to be cautious of is that if we have a power outage in the winter, we're probably going to want to run the boiler and the fans through the split systems as opposed to running the compressors on the heat pumps. So that'll take a lot of load off from the generator.
Will the generator handle the heat pumps?
I don't think so, but I'm not really the guy to make that call.
There's also a problem with running some of those heat pumps off a generator like this, I think.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, I think you're better off in a situation like that to run the boiler, which is next to no load on the generator, and rather than putting all that load on the generator.
How will that work? How will the heat pumps know not to engage?
We'll have to do it through the control system.
Right.
So if the switchgear for the generator energizes, we'll take a binary output from that to report to the control system that, hey, generator's running, don't run the heat pumps.
Okay. That you do that then off-site?
No, that'll happen right here.
Oh.
It'll be programmed.
It'll be programmed to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
yeah.
Andy, one question I had was,
Yes, sir.
the price is $41,691. Is that before or after the $19,253 deduction for,
Those are separate.
I know, but,
So the 41 is a separate piece of business from the change order for.
no, I understand that, but,
Okay.
okay, so,
So your difference would be the 41 minus the 19.
sure, that's what I was asking, is before or after, okay. got it.
Yeah,
We pay the 41,000 and change
Yep,
separately then.
correct.
I think 21, whatever.
So we could either do that as a separate project, as a
19.
change order to the original.
Whatever simplest.
I think we're looking at the 19 as a change order to the first contract that the town signed.
That's correct.
And that first contract said that we would eventually get boiler information, and now we're dealing with that separately.
Right.
We'll attach the same addendum to this
Okay.
boiler proposal that we attached to the initial proposal.
good explanation, thank you.
Okay.
What's your timeline?
To get a boiler,
Yeah.
boilers are in stock. The
They are,
pump's
yeah.
about 2 days away, 2 to 3 days.
COVID's over. COVID's over.
Not all
Not
over.
entirely.
No,
Can I ask
No.
a question?
sure.
Couple of things, Andy. When you did your sizing, your heat loads and cooling loads,
Yeah.
what did the heat load come in at? Do you have that?
I didn't review that when I came down. I can send that to you.
Okay,
It's-
because I mean,
So when we, the changes that we make to the building, the only increase that we have to decrease the load is the ERVs. Everything else stays the same. So we haven't changed the building envelope any, we've just made the ventilation more efficient.
yeah, I understand. You know, when I have the old plans, and this thing was a 423 IBR boiler originally, according to the plans. Since then, which was probably 50%, 25% oversized then. Since then, we've also done a number of building envelope improvements. So I feel we're decreasing the load, not increasing it.
So this would represent less BTUs than the original.
Yeah, but not by much, and we've decreased the load. Plus, just the fact that it's not the old boiler with an 86 efficiency, is, it is gonna run that on 180-degree water, but, so I
Right.
think
So-
we're safe, and plus, that's if
Yeah.
the whole building was running at the same time at, probably set at 70 degrees. You'd
Correct.
need that full load. So I think there's,
So, yeah, I'm not worried about the capacity of the boiler at all. But one thing that you have to look at on the ratings of low-mass, high-efficiency boilers is that rating is pretty much based on if you are using a radiant floor.
Yeah.
So you have very cold water coming back to the boiler, and you're only trying to generate 130-degree water. Well, with baseboard, if you don't have 180-degree water hitting the baseboard, it doesn't take long for it to fall on its face. So the result of that is that while the rating of the boiler and the efficiency is better than what you have now, it's not going to be 97 to 98% if we're trying to pump out 180-degree water.
right, it'll drop.
Right. And that's, no one really, that's not popular for the boiler manufacturers to talk about, but that's how it is.
I've got that system in my house. Part of my house is radiant, the other back part's
Yeah,
baseboard, but mixing valves and every other,
yeah,
all kinds of contraptions down there.
yeah, exactly.
Plumber's nightmare.
But that's only for a very small percentage time of the year. If you look,
Yeah.
it's like a bell curve.
Yeah, absolutely.
60 to 70% of the time, if it needs to run on condensing, it'll run on condensing. But
Correct.
most of that time, we'll be able to be on the heat pumps,
Correct.
except for the auxiliary loops, which is good that we can go down to 10%.
Yeah,
Is there any chance of any efficiency main rebates, or they just?
not on the boilers.
Not anymore, they've killed
No,
all the gas.
all of it, yeah, all the gas stuff is gone. I looked before, and it's funny. First, it was only natural gas, then the propane guys got upset, so, they got into it, but I don't want to speak for Efficiency Maine, but whoever helps them get the money is where the money goes,
Yeah.
so. But there's no gas-fired
Yeah. I'm
incentives at this
I'm a
time.
qualified partner, and I'm not happy with a lot of what they've done, but, and the condensate, is there to the floor, or do you have a little tank, or to,
Well,
Treat it.
it'll have to go through a neutralizer.
okay, so that's included, the neutral?
Oh, yeah, yeah, it's a turnkey.
So you'll take care of the oil, or do we call our supplier, have the tanks pumped?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, we'll get rid of it.
But you'll
Yeah.
remove it after that.
Yep.
The tank's not in really bad shape. I don't know if anyone needs a tank, but,
Well, we know what to do with the oil.
yeah.
All right, anything else, John?
No, I'm good.
No, we can.
David, you have anything else?
Nope.
Jane?
I just asked the
Mike?
last question I had.
I apologize if I'm using the proposal. Do you guys install any gas alarming when you put the boiler in?
We have to, yeah. It's a code requirement.
Yeah. No, that should work good. I've been, in the last, I don't know how many years I've been here, but the vent on a snowstorm gets sucked in there, and all of a sudden, middle of the night, I'm getting this alarm that there's no heat, and the boiler's covered in snow.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know one more thing, I don't know if people realize, but that Lochinvar is probably about 1/2 to maybe 2/3 the size of what's in there now.
Oh, I
Yeah,
think
right.
Tim
That's a lot
Clark
smaller, yeah.
is well aware of that, I think.
A lot more,
Yeah.
and it is a floor mount, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a floor mount, yeah.
Well, some of your equipment can go in there now where the oil tanks are.
Right,
That's
so
what
now we
Kim
can
said.
get, we can get the ERV inside,
Yep,
That's a plus.
which will help,
yep.
for sure.
Well, I move that we go with their proposal for $41,691.
That was easy. All in favor? All right, thanks.
Oh, and I wanted Andy just to talk a bit about the reduction and the control.
Sure,
costs, if
yeah,
you wouldn't mind.
when we reached out to Mitsubishi, it was their contention that we had to use their control system for the zoning. And then, once my controls people got here and they started tearing everything apart, they didn't really buy that so much. So we went back to Mitsubishi at a different level, explained to them how we wanted to do it, and they said, yeah, well, that will work.
Oh.
So what that does is, now, instead of having a third system, we get rid of that. And instead of us having to buy those components from another level of, so the supply chain, we can buy the CompuTrolls direct. So that's a big part of the reduction. And the other part to remember here is that anything that comes from CompuTrolls has a lifetime guarantee on it.
No.
So we've increased the components.
Yeah.
Everybody's.
Every-
Every component that CompuTrolls has built is backward and forward compatible, so there's no forced obsolescence. So you don't have to change out the whole system every few years.
Boy, we should,
And it's not proprietary, correct?
No,
That's good.
no,
it's the way life should be.
That's what we ran into before, when we first started to
so we, yeah,
fix
we'll,
controls.
this is, we'll do as much as you want us to do. If you have someone who's, but ultimately, once it's all programmed and set, it shouldn't matter anyway. But if you have someone here that is adept at programming, you can do the programming yourself. And that's fine with us. I mean, you bought it, you own it, so you ought to be able to do whatever you want with it. But we're available to help.
Your trucks know how to get here.
What's that?
Your trucks know how to get
Yes, they
here.
do. Hopefully, they forget a little after we're
A
done.
couple times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right.
so that's how,
We need a vote to accept the reduction.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's outrageous.
Change
A
order.
reduction of $19,000. I move we accept that.
All in favor again?
Great.
usually those are fairly popular.
Yeah, that wasn't hard.
Yeah, they both were easy, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you want to sign this, Andy, before you leave?
Do you want me to alter that to indicate that the addendum is a component thereof?
We can write it on here.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
yeah, I'll leave it right here. I'll just put includes addendum. So, it's really the same thing, so if you wanna. I'll put attached. Today is the 29th.
I have one
I
at
think he said the 28th, this is 29th.
home.
Yeah, 29th. Yep,
Yeah,
Yeah,
today's the
look.
29th.
I haven't
It
seen
is.
it. It's almost like-
Lost a day, Andy.
What's that?
you're getting
He's
close.
lost a day.
No,
Oh, it was the
you're not paying
28th.
Is that
attention to the
anything?
days of the week. Okay, all right, I'll get it signed and I'll scan it and send it to you. Thank you for coming, appreciate it, okay. Your crew has been, okay,
Not yet.
your crew has been really nice to kind of
Yeah.
work with and around us and through voting, and you name it, they've been dealing with it,
The,
so.
yep, I think they're working on the back end of the building.
Oh,
Code
they're up
office-
in the harbor master's office,
Oh,
they're
it-
gonna do that soon, I think.
Yeah, the codes office and Debbie's office is a little chilly.
Oh, okay, yeah,
They're getting there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
yeah, you know. Oh, yes, the completion date, substantial completion, and this is the same date as the first contract, December 6th, and then final completion, December 31.
Yeah, we don't have any problem
That's what we
with that.
agreed to, okay?
Just say sure,
If not sooner, if not sooner.
Yeah, that would work for everyone,
sure.
really.
Yes, it would.
We could say goodbye to those little portable heaters by our desks.
I hope so. Sometimes it's tough to get rid of those.
Oh, dear.
If anyone has anything, anytime, just,
Okay.
reach out.
Yep.
We're close
Thank
by.
you, Andy.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
It's been
Have a good
cool.
day.
You too.
All right.
So next item, I have to regret, oh, I'm sorry. Did you have a question? This is a public meeting, so,
Well, my recommendation is not to program it yourself. Use his people. Don't break the
I
chain
see, I
of
see.
control
Okay.
for warranty's
Oh,
sake.
no, that's why I said your trucks know the way here.
I
Okay.
see.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Oh, no.
And,
Thank you, John. I wasn't sure what you were going to say.
It's one of those,
sorry.
what's that button do?
I may go and look and see what they've done. Is
Yeah,
that all
yeah.
right?
Well, make sure somebody's with you.
Okay, I was just gonna look outside and then.
Oh, okay. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
know if you were going into that room or anything, but
There might be something
say
go,
them or someone from the town.
somebody from Thayer. I don't know if they're
Okay, yeah.
working out
I
there
don't
right
know.
now. Yeah, yeah.
After 40 years of.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, you're
You
right.
can take a peek.
Yeah, you can look upstairs too if you want.
Take a Rhonda,
What's that?
take a Rhonda.
Take her, yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So this next item, regretfully, we have a member of our staff, Gina Caldwell, who's been with us 17 years, has grown up with us,
Boy,
and she has a new job opportunity, and so she has submitted her resignation. And she plans to work through November 8th. That would be her last day.
Yeah.
So we're asking the board to consider accepting her resignation.
I move we accept it with extreme regret.
All in favor?
Thank
Yep.
you.
Yep, she has a great opportunity, so I'm glad for her.
Yeah, very happy for her
Yep.
in that regard.
In that case,
Yeah, one other quick item.
Oh, you go.
Mike is here, and we had a conversation with FEMA today, so we're making a lot of progress on some of our outstanding projects. And I would say 3 of the outstanding projects that may require more work than others would be Little Island Road.
Yeah.
Because we need to take apart some of the work that was done on a temporary basis
Right.
and make it more permanent. We have the town dock at Potts Point. We're looking at being able to get mitigation money to make that more resilient. We're currently getting a work scope from a qualified professional to let us know kind of how much it would cost to do this more resilient dock, both from sort of the professional engineering and design standpoint and then construction.
I got a question about that in the
Okay.
email today, so, no, I mean,
Yeah.
I got one, so.
And then the
think I
third
answered.
substantial project is Ocean Street. And
Yeah,
it's really kind of being called the Ocean Street Embankment Project, I think. And so we were thinking it might be helpful for the board to go and see that in person to really understand the scope of what we're looking at. FEMA is telling us that it's going to be covered to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Do you want to sit at that table, Mike?
Get in the
maybe,
hot
and-
seat there.
yeah. So,
Yeah,
Use the
FEMA's
mic.
recommended that we do a survey of the area, just to make sure that we don't encroach on any private property, because FEMA will not reimburse us for any work on private
No.
property. So that's the big thing. There is like a 30-foot piece of the 180 feet that they're gonna repair that's questionable whether it is public or private property. So I think
you mean
site
going south? Or we question the piece to the north?
north.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep, so that little triangle near the end of the street, it's questionable. You know, the property owner that was there said, no, I gave that to the town years ago, but the current survey shows that we have that it's his.
The what?
The current survey we have shows that it's his.
Oh.
So
but we
I
might
think,
be able to work through this. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know, it could take a warrant article. I don't know where we're going with all that.
so
potentially.
the issue that I've got with this is, you know, that section of private property. If we don't fix that, we're completely wasting $200,000 to fix the rest of it.
Right.
So I don't know how we can take care of that. I did discuss it with the engineering firm, and they're willing to separate that section out by the linear foot. And FEMA said that would be acceptable, you know, in the end of the project. We have to do the repair costs, the mitigation, stuff that wasn't there but will make it better for the future. And then that would have to be separated out by the linear foot to separate out the private property.
Right.
But then the problem is who pays for the private property?
Is that the piece we're still talking about that the owner says he already gave to the town?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I think it might be like airship thing. I really don't remember all of
Yeah.
the issues around it.
But- Does he have any paperwork that back that up, or you just say,
Not
said
that
no.
was presented yet.
what's that?
Not that was presented to us yet.
Okay. If he says he already gave it to us, when did he say he did it?
I
Oh,
can't,
I don't remember off the
I
top of
can't
my
remember
head,
off the
but
top of my head
I think
either.
it's maybe more an airship issue, that it might be heirs of, and when you get into those issues, like, you have to try to notify all the heirs.
Oh, I know, that, I would just,
So I don't know where that leaves us,
yeah,
but we could do further investigation. I guess our big question is, would you like to see the site? How extensive, because that triangle is on the north end, but
Yeah.
we're talking 100 feet. That's why we're not calling it just an Ocean Street
Yeah.
project, because it extends southerly, like 100 feet. would you say?
150 more feet.
150 more feet.
Yeah.
It's extensive.
well, we could look at it on our own.
Do you want to just look at it on your own? Okay.
I've already seen it.
Okay. All right.
I'm not sure we need a field trip.
Okay.
Yeah, if we just went on our own
Okay.
at our own convenience, I think that would.
Yeah,
Because I think at your next,
Just,
okay.
so it starts at Ocean Street?
yep, you just drive down to the end and,
And then,
So when
That's
you
the
go to
30
Ocean Street, you know where you go onto the giant stairs and there's that little set of steps that goes
Yeah.
down?
yeah,
It starts just like 20 feet south of that set of stairs and extends all the way up 30 feet past the end of Ocean Street.
that's
30 feet
the
to the
town
north.
property. What's the 30 feet of private?
From Ocean Street up. There's a little, and you'll see it when you come down the end of Ocean Street. There's a
Right.
little gravel spot that's kind of a triangle.
Right, okay.
And that's the spot that's in
Okay.
question.
I know it now. Yeah.
That's where we dumped the crushed stone years ago.
I think so.
yeah,
Just piled it there to do the trail with.
it's all gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the big thing out of this is, take a look at it, see what you think. And we need, if we're gonna move forward with this, we need to start working on signing the engineering contract, which is
Yeah,
$42,000.
just under 42
Just under
maybe?
$42,000. That's already been captured by FEMA, so that is reimbursable by them.
Okay,
And I don't know if that would even get factored into the percentage of private property or not, but they have captured the whole 42,000 for that.
And did I understand you correctly that if this is private property, FEMA will not reimburse
That is
the
correct.
cost of? Is the engineer doing the whole thing? The whole
Yes.
150 plus 30?
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds like we need to settle the ownership issue.
Yeah,
If we
I don't know. I mean, I think we have to be careful too, because the town's not supposed to spend money on private roads and
right.
private issues.
Right.
right,
If the engineer's plan kind of to protect the town's property potentially includes something there, I think the engineering costs would be minimal compared to construction costs.
I've got it.
So I know we're gonna have to address this issue at some point, and it could involve, we've had some survey work done before, so we may have to take another look at that.
So Debbie should be able to put names with us then. There must be a deed floating in her office somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, we'll look into that further. Yeah,
Yeah, my recommendation is if you think we should move forward on this, to get the engineering contract signed as soon as we can. Because not having this one signed is holding up our contract we have signed on Little Island Road. The engineer wants to be able to do aerial surveys and site surveys at the same time for both projects.
Where's the money coming from?
so it's coming from our capital road reserve
Okay, yeah.
potentially, yeah. Right now, we're That's where it's coming from.
I plan to go down this week and have a look.
Yeah,
So,
but I think you're hearing yes.
Go ahead, yeah.
a nod.
So we're going to put that contract for engineering services on your next meeting, which is November 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter what the
And,
schedule
and
says.
if you can all, just, and maybe you've seen it already, so you kind of have a sense of how broad this project is.
And the
Meeting's on
engineering
Wednesday
cost,
Next week, not Thursday.
it's a pretty significant cost, but in talking with Will, the engineer, when we was there, you know, I think we're paying a very fair price for the engineering. This is gonna be a big project.
Yeah.
Potentially, we could go up into $300,000 for this.
With the project.
Yep.
And if we don't sort out the ownership of this 30-foot thing, if we did not repair that when we're doing the rest of it, the rest is in jeopardy
Correct.
this winter when we
Yeah.
have our next storm.
Yep.
But if they separate that out, then maybe the town, we'll have to wait and see who owns it. I think, if we can get the ownership figured out and what we have to do to claim it.
Because we don't want it not to be done.
No, but the work would be done till spring anyway.
No.
So we'd have time
Okay,
to put it on the March warrant,
Yeah.
to accept the property if everything's, unless there are 50 relatives.
I mean, we're calling this the Ocean Street project because this is what we're told we need to do to protect the road, the end of the road. That there's just been so much erosion along there, you've got to kind of deal with it as one project.
Yeah,
You can't kind of separate out just the end of the road.
No.
You got this
yeah.
embankment
The
that's,
giant stairs.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they still
know.
don't look like stairs.
I know.
I think in some communities, some of these coastal erosion issues, they're, you have to make some decisions about how to
Right.
deal with them.
Looking
And
forward.
I wish maybe there was a less expensive option for us.
Well, there's one option. There's two options. You do nothing.
Yeah, and if we ran into the property dispute, if that was your decision, then, I'd hate to see that, because eventually, that whole section of road and the end of the trail's probably gonna fall into the
Oh, yeah.
ocean.
I'm not saying it's a good option, I'm just saying,
But yeah,
yeah.
it's better than getting stuck with a $300,000 bill. But in the future, it could cost
a lot more.
twice as much.
All right,
Okay.
anything else?
No, thank you for the update, Mike. And I want to compliment Mike because he's really done incredible work staying on top of all these projects and communicating with FEMA, uploading all this information. But we are making tremendous progress now.
He was told that the whole management system, there's nothing really to it.
You said I'd get a percentage, so that's why.
I think he could go to work for FEMA now. He's learned so much.
I'm an expert.
That's what I said, if you get a percentage, I get a percentage.
Not that we want you to go to FEMA, but,
Oh, my God.
Great.
All right.
all right,
All right.
thank
In that
you.
case, we're good, we're adjourned.